Kept you waiting, huh? Hi guys, it's the Walking02 Dead here, king of the anime and manga boxers and a lover of all things geeky here on YouTube. So today's video is going to be a really special retrospective as I'm doing a video on my childhood favourite video game which is celebrating its 20th anniversary, and that is Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 1. This game holds so many childhood memories for me, so much nostalgia and so much love for this game. This game combined a lot of elements that I absolutely love. It's got like a lot of anime influence as well as like philosophy and like really deep meaningful themes. There's like movie references like from Predator. You also get like futuristic sci-fi weaponry as well as a bit of like supernatural elements mixed into it. So join me on my Metal Gear Solid retrospective. So before I start this retrospective, I want to give a massive thank you to Hideo Kojima, the director and the mastermind behind the Metal Gear Solid franchise. Originally Kojima wanted to make movies in Japan, but he winded up making video games, and because of that decision, my childhood was full of so many memories and hours and hours and hours of entertainment, and that's all down to Hideo Kojima. This man made me laugh, he made me cry, he made me intrigued, he gave me over the top badass moments. So I just want to say thank you, Kojima-san. On September 3rd, 1998, Metal Gear Solid was released for the Sony PlayStation and the video game world was changed forever. 1998 was a great year for video games. Of course, back in 98 you wouldn't have been salivating over nostalgia, you would have been gripped in the here and the now with games like Resident Evil 2, The Legend of Zelda, The Ocarina of Time, and ending the year off with Half-Life. But even in the company of such classic games, Metal Gear Solid stood apart. It was the most ambitious and sophisticated game of the early 3D era on PlayStation. Set in the year 2005, you play as Solid Snake, whose objective is to infiltrate Shadow Moses, which is secretly an American nuclear weapons disposal facility. Overrun by the Foxhound Special Forces led by Liquid Snake, the group plan to launch nuclear weapons if their demands are not met. They want the remains of Big Boss. Stealth video games were around long before Metal Gear Solid, but they would never be the same again after Hideo Kojima's masterpiece. Metal Gear Solid was the first game that felt like a movie. It had such a high level of detail and quality throughout. It made a linear storyline feel dynamic. The heart of Metal Gear Solid is stealth. You are discouraged from even engaging the enemy. It's far more rewarding avoiding security cameras and traps, and finding safe paths around predetermined guard patrol routes, while hiding in the iconic cardboard box. Speaking of boxes, Kojima loved to push the envelope in this game. There is a moment where you need to find Meryl's codec number, and the only way to find it is if you look on the back of the CD case of the game, and no other game since has done something so clever.
You Solid Snake?
That's what some people call me.
The legendary Solid Snake? You? Sorry about before. I wasn't sure if you were one of the good guys.
But I knew you were.
How?
It's your eyes.
My eyes?
They're not soldiers' eyes.
They're rookie's eyes, right?
No, they're beautiful, compassionate eyes.
Oh, just what I'd expect from the legendary Solid Snake. You trying to sweep me off my feet?
Metal Gear Solid 1 has one of the all-time best video game boss rosters. Foxhound offered up quite the rogues gallery of villains, whether it was fighting Liquid Snake on top of Metal Gear Rex, the numerous sniper duels with Sniper Wolf, the gun duel with Revolver Ocelot, facing Vulcan Raven in a tank or with his minigun, fist fighting Grey Fox, taking down the Hind D with the Stinger missiles, or facing Metal Gear Rex. There were tons of really memorable boss moments. The best example of this is Psycho Mantis and his fourth wall breaking gimmicks, making it one of the most innovative boss fights in all of gaming history. Mantis will analyse your playstyle thus far through the game, telling you if you are reckless. Mantis would read your PlayStation 1 memory card, commenting on any Konami saves.
Oh, you like Azure Dreams? You like Castlevania, don't you?
Mantis would demonstrate to the player the power of his mind by moving your controller through the vibration function. In the Mantis fight, you couldn't actually hurt him until the player physically switched the controller into port 2, or Mantis would read your mind and your movements. Each is a great trick and makes it an unforgettable experience. So I want to share with you guys how I got into Metal Gear Solid. Now 20 years ago, I bought this official UK magazine, number 42, and as you can see, it's got an amazing picture of Grey Fox on the front, and it came with a demo disc. Yo, who remembers demo discs? But I used to play this demo disc with Metal Gear Solid on it over and over and over again, and I used to find Metal Gear Solid really hard, and I really didn't enjoy it at first. But my friend said give it another go, and I actually then started to implement like stealth, because at first I was just trying to shoot the guards and break their necks. I wasn't trying to sneak around. And I remember when the game came out on its release day, I went down to CB Games, which was this like little underground CD little game shop, and I remember I traded in like the Lost World Jurassic Park and like Ridge Racer, as well as a bit of money for Metal Gear Solid and these figures. And I remember every day I used to come home from school, and like Saturday mornings I used to sit in front of the big like 28-inch tube telly, and I used to play Metal Gear Solid for hours and hours and hours. And this is the game that I've probably completed more than any video game ever. So in the comment section down below, I want to know from you guys out there, how did you get into Metal Gear Solid? There are so many memorable moments in Metal Gear Solid that can make you laugh, cry, or there's some totally over-the-top action-packed moments. There are also like twists and turns in the storyline that you just didn't see coming. Here are some examples of some really cool moments that are some of my favourites. There was like the elevator where you realise that there are some soldiers cloaked in stealth camouflage in there with you. There was like running up the communication tower to meet the Hind D. The introduction of Sniper Wolf where she shoots like Meryl. A Grey Fox being in that hallway chanting the Japanese subway systems, and it sounded really creepy while he was chopping up and slicing the guards. This is my personal favourite moment though.
Snake! What was she fighting for? What am I fighting for? What are you fighting for?
If we make it through this, I'll tell you.
So there's an iconic moment in this game where you're getting tortured by Revolver Ocelot in this big machine where he electrocutes you, and you've got to spam the circle button down to replenish your health. I want to know from you guys out there, did you prefer giving up and unlocking the stealth camouflage, or did you grind it out to get the good ending so that you unlock the infinite bandana? Metal Gear Solid set the benchmark for voice acting back on the PlayStation 1. If you compare it to games like Resident Evil, you hear a huge difference in the quality of the script and the voice acting.
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right.
Large parts of the story are told through codec conversations using the codec, a gadget that Snake uses to communicate with the rest of the team. I mean, there's so much like lore and backstory used in these codec conversations. In the comment section down below, I want to know from you guys, what was your favourite codec conversation? David Hayter was the voice of my childhood. I absolutely love David Hayter. He is Snake to me. He brought Snake to life and gave him heart and the rough edges we all come to love. I want to know, what was your favourite quote from Solid Snake? Something I've always really loved about this game, and I've appreciated more as I get older, is this game has some real deep philosophies and themes when you dig deeper. It carries a clear anti-nuclear weapon message, but its core theme is about genetics, mainly the selfish gene theory, and that ultimately your genes do not dictate your life, and that you should live your life for you. Games like Metal Gear Solid don't come around very often. It was the culmination of a great concept, expertly developed, and having a fantastic console to release it on. Metal Gear Solid is a game that holds a special place in my heart, and it will until I'm grey and old. Its moments will like live forever for me. I will always hold love and nostalgia for this game. It will never be forgotten, and evil will Solid Snake. Yes, sir. This is the end of the video. Yes, sir. Thank you for watching. Yes, sir. Please give the video the thumbs up and subscribe. No, sir. No one knows my true identity. Yes, sir. Please tell me in the comment section below. What was your favorite moment from the game? Who was your favorite character? Yes. Thank you. Goodbye, Mr. Subscriber.